know my videos are like a month behind, so you're like seeing this like a month before or a month after it happened. And I'm fairly certain a lot of you have probably said that's a lot of steam coming out of the exhaust, probably a head gasket. Now I researched it and I thought I found out that it only affected like years 96 to 04. No, it affects up to 2011 before they switched to a different motor. So it's very possible that this needs a head gasket, but I'm not ruling that it does need one. So if you want to crack the radiator and see if there's bubbles, that's one sign. Well, kind of hard to see because the coolant level's low. I'm going to dump some water in this thing. I'm going to see if there's some bubbles in the radiator. No bubbles, but I can't tell. You guys watch this for me. Say no more. I saw it. I can see it from the inside. Old Faithful there. That's nice. So, honestly, I figured this in, even though I didn't think it was a problem. I still figured this in, so it's not really that huge of a deal. It's more work on my end, but I plan on doing the timing belt. I tell you what, it's a lot easier to do a timing belt with the motor out. So just pull the motor out. We're going to do all the work to it and then put it back in. That's what we're going to do. Now, I want to start the body work on this thing today. There's not a lot, but there's some. I need to beat on this fender a little bit more. I can get the dent out. It's up near the headlight. I think I can get it out a little bit better. And the hood we're pretty close on, so we're just going to do putty from there. But yeah, we got a little bit of body work, and my buddy Anthony from the business that does glass will say he's coming to do the windshield today. So I'm going to have to take that cowl off, which it's already loose. My fault putting that in there. He said, those window cowls, he said, if you have a speck of dirt in that, when you put it back on, it'll crack the glass like that. He said it's happened to a couple of the guys he works with. You have to make sure that track's really clean. I know it was kind of dirty. I put it back on. There's probably a pebble or something in there, and it shattered the glass when I put it back on. Believe me, I won't do it again. That's how you learn. But what we're going to do is I need to disassemble some of this. I'd like to take the front bumper off. And well, actually, let me leave the front bumper on until I get the hood shaped the way I want it. And then we'll take the front bumper off and we'll work on the fender, because the fender's already shaped to the headlight pretty well. If you're seeing it, it's fitting pretty well. It's fitting the bumper pretty well. I have some spots sticking out right there that needs to go in, and right here I need to beat this in some because it's sticking out, and then this needs to come out because it's sticking in. I might get my new tool and try to pull that out. I was trying to hammer it from back there, but I think it would be a lot easier to use that thing out here, so maybe we'll do that. I felt bad because, like, every time he comes over to do a windshield for me, like, I have everything just everywhere, and it's a mess. So I made sure to clean everywhere around this thing so there's plenty of room for him to work and put that windshield in. I'm going to go ahead and take the cowl off and the wiper blade so he doesn't have that much work to do. I think that's fair. Simple enough. Couple pins, Comes right out. Yeah, just watch when you go to put it back on, obviously. So while I have it off right now, now is the time to clean this track. And look at all the dirt inside of this track. That's why I cracked the windshield. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all this out, spray it down, wipe it, and that way when we go to put it back on, we don't have the same problem over again. I just got to looking at it, and it wasn't the dirt that was in the track that caused this. Look at all this dirt right here. I guarantee you I got some of that in between the glass and the trim piece, and whenever I was shoving it in there, it was not only pushing on it, but it was probably pushing up on it because I was having trouble getting it in. There is a significant amount of dirt right here. He said we're gonna glue these pieces back on. Oh, wait a minute. Might be able to get them out pretty clean. I got one clip out clean. I don't know. In the area before you put this window cowls back on, kids. See, when he said about gluing the trims on, I thought he meant we were gluing this piece on. I see it now. This windshield is already been replaced at one point in time. Obviously, with as many miles as it has on it, that's kind of expected. They were glued. The mounts were glued on the driver's side. Passenger side, they're still like the original mounts. But as you can see, these plastic pieces inside of here is what these things clip into. And they are glued in on this side. So they did have the trim glued down. On the other side, those clips are what I would say original. They look like there's no glue holding them. It looks like they go underneath the glass. And yeah, they look original. Well, I was going to get started on the bodywork, but my buddy Anthony is actually on his way here now. And he needed a stand, so I got this out. So he'll be here before you know it. I think I'll work on that little dent until he gets here. Then we'll do the rest after that. But yeah, getting there. Sorry, I'm not really with it today. The sickness is still kind of getting the best of me. I'm like tired on and off. So blah, that's how I feel. kind of hard to tell because there's no paint on it now, so you're not seeing a gloss, but it's still dipped in a tad, but not near what it was. It's going to take very little putty at all just to get that smooth. And I need to get more efficient with this machine because that took me a long time just to remove that dent. But when it comes in play is like when you can't get behind the panel to knock it out or hammer it out, and we'll say like a quarter panel or whatever. I normally use my stud welder. This does a lot less damage. It just etches itself into the metal. You can pull on it. You can't get real crazy with it, but you can pull it out some with it. I'm learning more as I use it, and I need to get a magnetic ground clamp for it too. I want to do that. I haven't done it yet. But it works, and it works pretty good. So, especially for the price. I think this thing's like in the $250 range, $250, something like that. I think this is a pretty nice machine for that. Yeah, see this, it worked. But yeah, I need to get a better clamp than this. That makes me feel a little better about this whole situation here is that he said that wasn't my fault that cracked. He said that windshield has been replaced 2 or 3 times. He showed me the amount of glue that was under that glass was excessive. And not only that, whoever put it on last didn't have it shifted up high enough. So that's why it was so tight down at the bottom. And the amount of glue they had, when he was getting it, like cutting it out, it was cracking as it went around, which he has a machine that draws nylon string in through it and cuts the adhesive. It was busting the glass as it went around and putting cracks the whole way around it. So there was really nothing that I could do. He said it was going to crack regardless. So it's done right now, and we're not going to have a problem. He even did this trim. This trim's the way it's supposed to be, and it had the wrong trim up there. He showed me. So yeah. I don't have time to continue on right now, so I'm going to do Bodywork later on in the week, and we'll see you then. Maybe I'll feel better then. Alright, so it's almost been a week since the last clip, so I kind of forget where I was at. I had to fix this, because this was cracked. I don't know how it even happened, and there's still a line in it. It's kind of poop. My guess is my wife hit it with her bag coming through, but that's just my guess. I could be wrong. Yeah, whatever. As you can see, we patched it up with the hot staple gun. Anyways, this bodywork needs to get done. I kind of accidentally clipped this grill in. The windshield turned out wonderful. We did save the trims, so the trims are good. Plus, they are glued on top of that. This is actually a Honda trim piece, and it made it way more flushed than it was originally. So, he did an excellent job on this. This windshield looks really good. Brand new, because... not just because of me, but because of whoever did this last time. There was so much tension on that glass. The crash module still needs to get sent out. I haven't done that. And we need to finish this bodywork. So I'm going to, instead of disassembling all this, I want to kind of have it together so that I can, gauge my bodywork. I think I'm going to have to hammer some in now. I had it out. Now it's looking like it needs to go in. So I'm going to have to hammer some of that in. But we're going to do some putty work here, sand everything, and get it ready for paint. I would like to paint this weekend realistically. Am I going to get to it? I don't know. you get the point of this. We're getting somewhere. I got a little bit more putty to do on this. This is good up here. This down here, I need to add more. I actually had to hit that in. Same with this, I had to hit this in, so we got to add more here. A couple spots on here that were high I had to hit down, so we're going to have to go over that again. And this whole hood has spots that are rusting, that are through the paint. So for the most part, this hood's mostly going to get painted, except for like that top corner and this side over here. But for the most part, it's going to get mostly painted. So I need to make sure that I get all those rust spots good, and we're going to hit those with self-etching primer, and then we're going to get some regular primer on there so we can sand it down, and it's all going to get sealed and painted for the most part. I still have to Dremel these mesh things out of the bumper and then fit the new fog light mounts or whatever. We'll get to that eventually. I don't honestly know if this bumper's primed or not. I don't, for some reason, don't think it is. Here, let's find out. 400 grit. It is primed. You can see that. Yeah, it's primed. So we'll hit most of this with 600. That was 400, which is still fine. But we'll hit it with 600 so we don't burn through it all. Already kind of burnt through it down here in a couple spots, but that's right at the edge where it meets the headlight. Yeah, let me finish this, get this all kosher, and I'll come back and we'll hit it with some primer and self-etching primer. We'll see what it all looks like. All right, much better. I'm glad you guys didn't have to go through all that like I just did. Anyways, we need to put some self-etching primer on all the bare metal areas. Give that a little bit of time to flash off. Then we're going to hit this with some high build primer. Just TranStar stuff. I have black, but I don't know if I want to use the black primer. I can throw that on there and then we can just kind of get a glimpse of what it's going to look like. The black. Might as well. I kind of wanted to save the black for like guide coat, because I was trying to use spray paint and that gums my sandpaper up and it's no fun. This primer doesn't clog sandpaper as easy. So is the Bodywork 100%? Nah, I feel like I could have did better in some areas, but I've done like 4 or 5 coats now, and then there's still areas like after I'm done, like the metal sticking out there. I feel like I mean I've hit it down several times. It's just the metal's kind of warped, and I'm not getting anywhere with it. I pound one area down, then another area lifts. So I'm done with it now. I'm kind of happy where it's at. So self-etching primer, and then after that, then we got to do sand all the rest. Well, I got to Dremel those holes out. So much to do.
I'm pretty happy with that. The hood turned out really good, so I'm happy with that. The fender, I mean, until you get shiny paint on it, as of right now, it looks really good. So, I put 4 coats of that on just because the can was almost empty, so I just put a 4th coat on there. Because if you don't, then the end gets gunked up, you let it sit, and you only have a little bit left. I was like, I'm just going to use it. The more coats of primer, the better. You could sand it forever and get it all smooth, but yeah, it's looking really good. It's looking really good. So once you sand that, like right now, you can kind of see where the putty's at because it kind of absorbs it a little bit. Plus a couple splotches out of the can, but that'll all sand out. Yeah, no, I put it on so thick you really can't see the bodywork. So, boy, she's thick. But that needs time to dry. With 4 coats on, it needs more time than usual to dry. So, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna sand it tomorrow. So, on to tomorrow.
New tools have arrived. I already tested it out. I was gonna get an air one, but I prefer electric if I can. Little saw there. I already sawed those lats or whatever that were in there. I still need to take that whole circle out, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it exactly where the old bumper is. So I'm gonna go back and grab that. But I'll show you how this thing works. I haven't even taken the twisty tie off the thing yet. So let's do these ones real quick. I'll have more control with something this small to cut stuff with. Yeah! So anyways, old bumper is laying back here. Let's get it. I need to take this tray off of it too. I haven't done that yet. Whatever, let's just pull this up front. Alright, so it's just like I thought. Right in them circles there, we're gonna have to cut out. As you can see how those are, that inner ring has to come out. So I think I'm going to set this up on my stand over here and try to precisely cut them out so we can get those fog lights fitted. We'll get the brackets into the back of it, and I'll put the fog lights in to see, but then they have to stay out because we're going to be painting this bumper. So. there we go. We went from a basic bumper to a premium bumper with a couple cutting tools. And I saved myself 20 bucks on the bumper. Just ignore the fact that I spent 30 bucks on the cutting tools. Hey, they'll come in handy later, okay? This hot staple gun was crucial on this too. That hot staple gun, I can't stress that enough. If you're doing bumper repairs, plastic repairs, anything like that, headlight tabs, stuff like that, that metal hot staple gun is the ticket, okay? And not to mention, it's not that expensive. So now, our lights are mounted, hard mounted. The one that was cracked, the mount that was cracked was this one. It still fits pretty dang good. I just used the hot staple thing to get it positioned right. That's weird. The lights are reflecting on this just perfect, and it makes it look like that LED is lit on that bulb. It's weird. It's the way the light's reflecting off of it. I gotta take those back off. The mounts are part of the bumper now, so you don't have to worry about that. But looking at this old bumper, I was thinking about masking all that, and that is going to be a pain in the butt. But if you look at the original bumper, well, what's left of it, notice it's all painted. Inside here, everything. Yep, even down in there, it's all painted, and it didn't look bad. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to paint it all, so all we got to do is sand all that, and that's going to save me a lot of time. Also need to paint that, so we'll get everything sanded. That looks like it's, I don't know if that's primed. That doesn't look primed. The rest of this is. So I'll have to get some adhesion promoter on that before we paint. I'll probably some adhesion promoter and some primer. I'll use some black primer on that so we can at least sand that and get it ready like the rest of this. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good.
Very nice. How much?
I think since I got the bodywork done, I got the fog lights in, I kind of want to mock fit everything before I start sanding and getting everything ready. That headlight's going to have to come out and everything, so let me throw the headlight in, clip the bumper on. I'm not going to bolt the bumper on. I might set the grill in. Just let me get it mocked up, because all the body, I just want to see how this thing is going to look. I might plug in the fog lights, make sure that those LEDs are going to be good as well. Now that looks pretty dang good so far. We're on the right track. Alright, I just wanted to make sure the fog lights were good, and they worked. I threw LEDs in them, so I wanted to make sure they were good. The adjustment on them is, it might be the bulb. I don't know. Oh, I see this one's flickering. It might be the bulb. But they work, regardless. But now, I need to go ahead and take everything back off again. But yeah, look at the fitment. Even the hood. Even the hood's looking really, really good. All the fitment. I like it all. Right now we got a little sag in the bumper here, but I don't have the bolt in it. When you put the bolt in and get it lined up, which I can't even find. There's a pin here that it kind of, there it is. Oh, okay. But when you bite, there. Once you put the bolt in, it sucks that up like that, and it's good. So, yeah, everything looks good. I'm impressed with myself. The grill's not clipped in, it's just sitting there. Okay, I'm done talking. But this is also where I'm going to end this episode. I'm ending it here because the rest of this is just sanding, so I don't want to bore you with that. And you already saw me sand enough. So next episode, hopefully, throwing paint on this thing. So if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom thinks I could smooth out her bumpy relationships. And we'll see you on the next episode of Unwrapped. was eating. But we officially have the zoomies right now. What are you doing? You guys are nuts. Ornery. Ornery 1 and Ornery 2. What are we doing? Trying. You're still not feeling the kitties, are you? No, definitely not. Don't you mess with her.